Hi guys, it's Chris here from Some Bloke Who Travels a Lot, and today we are in Bulgaria, Sofia International Airport, to fly on Qatar's A320 in business class. And Qatar does business class properly. Full flatbed seats and of course the best food and wine in the skies. Not just a table covering the middle seat. This trip was part of my 2023 Gold Card chase, where I'm flying on high tier point routes chasing upgrades, so check out the link in the description for that series. Now, I paid £498 for the upgrade for Sofia to Doha. Was it worth it? Well, sit back, enjoy the video, and let me know in the comments if you would have paid for this upgrade. After an efficient check-in with Qatar, and it was efficient, all I's dotted and T's crossed, it was time to head off to the lounge. Now, I didn't have access to the lounge because of my upgrade to business, even though it was a paid upgrade. My access came from being a gold card holder, One World Emerald status. Now, the lounge was pleasant. It was 10:30 in the morning, so the food offering was somewhere between snacks and light bites. There was a fully stocked bar. But remembering the time, and also the food and wine delight in store with Qatar, I opted for an iced tea. Now this was quite an oddity, quite a large smoking lounge, which is very unusual. Most lounges I've been in the world over are either non-smoking or you head off to the smoking chamber with everyone else. Anyway, I headed back to the fresh air and a little bit of plane spotting till it was time to board. I was so excited about this. Now, I've been lucky enough to fly business class, both long haul on wide body jets and also short haul on narrow body jets like the A320 a good few times. But this was a first full product business class on an A320. You see, most European short haul airlines simply block off the middle seat in business class. You are in fact in the same seats as those in economy, just with no middle seat. Now usually there's a food offering, which can be surprisingly good, but doesn't compare to Qatar business dining experience. And it doesn't compare to the Qatar business seat, which is what you envisage if you're told you're flying business class. Now it wasn't long till I had a glass of champagne in my hand, got comfy in the seat. We'll have a proper look at the seat in a moment, but I just stretch out the legs, check out the footrest. We'll play around with the seat in a moment. Have a quick final look out the window at Bulgaria. My first trip to Bulgaria. I will be back and I will explore it more, and I'll also be using it for flights like this to do something a bit more interesting and gain some extra tier points. But for now, it's time for the menu. What would you have chosen? You'll find out what I had in just a few moments. The views were spectacular, but if staring out the window with a glass of champagne in your hand isn't for you, they do have a little bit of entertainment. It is the full Qatar entertainment service on what looked like, I didn't measure it, but a 15-inch TV screen. Latest movies, TV shows, music. Now to me, the Emirates Ice is the best entertainment system, but this does run at a close second. Certainly more than enough to occupy this 4.5 hour flight, and plenty to keep you happy on Qatar's more normal 8 hour plus flights. But, as you know, or maybe you don't know, to this day I've still never watched an in-flight movie. The views out the window, watching the map, pressing buttons on my seat, and the meal are more than enough to keep me occupied. Someone mentioned food. Patience, before we get to the main event and the food, let's take a look at the seat, press some buttons and have a look around the cabin. Now, there are just 3 rows on the A320 for business class, and it's 2x2. and it's the duo seats that I've flown on before on the A330 and the 777 with Qatar, which, although not quite the Q suite, which still eludes me to this day, it still is a level of luxury I've never experienced on a narrow-bodied jet. As you can see, I'm completely flat out there. I didn't make the bed. It was the middle of the day. It was lunchtime. It would have looked a bit odd. But I was very comfy watching my map. Now for the main event. A cheeky 3-course lunch with wine at 32,000 feet. Which, of course, first we need to dress the table with linen. Now, it's a large sized table, it's very sturdy, and if you were crazy, you could get your laptop out and do some work. Personally, I prefer to see the table used like this. It's just beautifully laid out, our condiments, our warm bread, even the salt and pepper. If you look closely, I'll show you in a second. Water, what's that doing there? Very important, water on a flight. 1 glass of water for every glass of wine, and you're normally all right. We've got pink Himalayan rock salt. I love that attention to detail, that little bit of extra. But as I said, you could use this firm, sturdy table to do some work. But personally, I think it looks better with scallops, prawns, and a glass of Montenay Premier Cru. It really was delicious. I mean, I knew I was indulging at this point. And it was a little chilled, you know. We are on an aircraft and we are in the hands of the small galley of the A320. But look at the food, look at the view. Going back to my question at the start, is it worth it? It's getting there, isn't it? So next up was the pan-fried chicken cutlet with parsley mashed potatoes, which really was a posh chicken Kiev. Made even posher by the accompanying glass of Lawson's Reserve Pinot Noir. The boy's happy. And we followed that with the standout for me on the dessert, the rose tart with vanilla sauce. And the standout for me on the entire wine list, the Trockenbeer and Auslese. This absolute gem. Just the most exquisite dessert wine, and not one I stumble across often. Now, you would think that would be enough, wouldn't you? You are, of course, wrong. I'm hardly going to turn down finest Swiss chocolates and an XO cognac to accompany with my coffee. Would it be foolish not to? So, just time to enjoy the view out the window one last time. You'll find a link in the description below of all the out of the window raw footage. There's some absolute stunning views on this flight, as you can see now coming into Doha. Just leaves me time to thank the amazing crew for such a wonderful flight.
Thank you very much indeed. Bye bye.
And then board my business class bus to the terminal, where I will be spending the next 14 hours before my next flight on the A380. Now, I'm making videos about both those events, 14 hours at Doha Terminal and also the flight on the A380 where I'm booked in economy at the moment. So you might like to consider subscribing, and if you ring the bell, YouTube will notify you when I publish a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and happy travels.